Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It's that time for another 10 movies to keep you somewhat occupied during what looks to be another few weeks of sitting in the house. So let's just dive into these 10 great movies that I've curated just for you, lovely people out there, and let's get started. Number 10, Midnight Run. Bounty hunter Jack Walsh is sent to find and return bail jumper and former mafia accountant Jonathan the Duke Mardukas. The FBI has had no success in locating the Duke, so when Jack finds him in next to no time, they're a little bit embarrassed. In order to collect the $100,000 fee, Jack must take the Duke from New York to Los Angeles. However, the mafia and the FBI have other ideas. Starring Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, this is one of the best kind of buddy cop movies that you're possibly going to get from the 80s. Ridiculously funny, absolutely charming, great performances from the two leads and some of the other actors, including Yaphet Kotto as part of the FBI. This is just one of those movies where you just drive along because of the two main characters, how they're so much opposites, but they're both really good at what they do, and they kind of butt heads to start with and come round to defeating the bad guys near the end of the movie. It's a little bit tropey story wise, but it's really just the engagement of the two characters and how much you feel for them and like them and want to go on the journey with them that drives this movie forward. Number 9, Outbreak. Colonel Dr. Sam Daniels is assigned to investigate a lethal disease in an African village with his crew. They are impressed by the disease, and Colonel Daniels reports his findings, afraid of contamination in the USA. An African smuggled monkey carrier of the disease is brought to the US and is released into the woods and spreads the disease in the beginning of an outbreak in a small town in California. Now Colonel Daniels and his team must fight the invisible enemy. It kinda seems fitting to throw this on the list. If you haven't seen it, Wolfgang Petersen directed this movie in the mid-90s. He had one hell of a cast, and it's a kinda glamorized, Hollywoodized version of an outbreak movie, but it's fun, it's engaging, it moves rather quickly, and it gets to a kinda nice finale at the end of it. It's a fun popcorn movie. Number 8, Contagion. Soon after her return from a business trip to Hong Kong, Beth Emhoff dies in what is a flu or some other type infection. Her young son dies later the same day. Thus begins the spread of a deadly infection. For doctors and administrators at the US Centers for Disease Control, several days pass before anyone realises the extent or gravity of this new infection. I always really like Steven Soderbergh movies, and again he litters this with a fantastic cast who all have varying degrees of screen time, but they're all wonderful in their own right. And I really like Contagion when it came out, and I've watched it a couple of times since then. The most terrifying thing about it is it seems almost like a documentary now, the way it explains this viral outbreak, how it infects and takes over the world and the ramifications that come from it. It is entertaining, but more than a little scary with today's climate. Number 7, 47 metres down, Uncaged. A diving adventure of 4 teenage girls exploring a submerged Mayan city. Once inside, their rush of excitement turns to a jolt of terror as they discover the sunken ruins are the hunting ground for a deadly great white shark. With their air supply steadily dwindling, the friends must navigate the underwater labyrinth of claustrophobic caves and eerie tunnels in search of their way out of their watery hell. I was pleasantly surprised with 47 metres down, and even more surprised that it got a sequel. And I kind of dubiously went into this one, and they change enough things about, and I think one of my favourite things about it is the setting. This addition of this underwater Mayan city just offers a wealth of visual delight. It has all these statues at various structures while still being underwater and the usual kind of shark chasing them. Now it does take some leaps in logic. Why is the shark always around the corner that they're about to go? Why, whenever they devise a new plan, is the shark always there? It doesn't matter. It's another popcorn fun movie, and if you're looking for 90 minutes just to switch off and de-stress from the days sitting about probably doing nothing, then this is the movie for you to check out. Number 6, COFEE and KAREEM. While police officer James COFEE enjoys his new relationship with Vanessa Manning, her beloved 12-year-old son KAREEM plots their breakup. Attempting to scare away his mum's boyfriend for good, KAREEM tries to hire criminal fugitives to take him out, but accidentally exposes a secret network of criminal activity, making his family its latest target. To protect Vanessa, KAREEM teams up with COFEE, the partner he never wanted, for a dangerous chase across Detroit. This is one of these movies that is either something you're willing to give a chance or you just have no interest in at all. Ed Helms plays COFEE, and it is a ridiculously tropey movie. You've seen lots of these things before. The foul-mouthed young kid, the incompetent police officer, two people forced to come together to try and fight the greater good, either though they're not the best together. But I kind of like the engagement between the two characters. It had some funny moments. It takes huge leaps in logic and it just becomes completely silly. But I kind of needed that. I needed that just cathartic feeling of not having to think during a movie, not having to take it seriously, because things happen just for the sake of happening and because they're kind of funny. I enjoyed it. This one's getting a lot of hate. It may not be for you. If after 10 minutes you're not enjoying it, it might be time just to turn this one off. I kind of liked it. Number 5, Child's Play. The toy buddy with artificial intelligence is the great sensation of Kazlan Industries. When a programmer is fired by his supervisor in a Vietnam factory, he cancels the security protocols of one of the toys and then commits suicide. The mother of lonely 13-year-old Adam Barkley gives a buddy to him for his birthday, and the toy becomes his best friend. But soon, Andy notes that something is wrong with his buddy, and together with his new friend, Phelan and Pug, they try to stop him. Technically, there's nothing really wrong with the new Child's Play. It's not overly gory, it's a pretty good horror and has a really interesting premise as well as tackling modern day themes. The one hang up I've got for it is my love for the original series, and I can't really detract from that. This one is a fairly decent movie. It's just not, it's not that old version that I have that nostalgia and love for. There is some nice ideas in amongst this one, some good jump scares and a little bit of blood, so if you're squeamish you don't really need to worry about that. There's not going to be too much in this version. Number 4, The Martian. During a manned mission to Mars, astronaut Mark Watney is presumed dead after a fierce storm and left behind by his crew. But Watney has survived and finds himself stranded and alone on the hostile planet. With only meagre supplies, he must draw upon his ingenuity, wit and spirit to find a way to signal Earth that he is still alive. Ridley Scott and Matt Damon just knocked this one out the park. It has such a captivating tale, and it sounds like it really shouldn't be. One man is stuck on Mars. He is more often than not going to die, but this guy is ingenious. He's a botanist. He knows how to make food and water, and he's going to survive no matter what. He just needs to signal for help, for somebody to come and help him, and it is riveting, edge of the seat, thrilling, visually spectacular, and one of those movies that whenever I catch it, I need to watch every minute of it. It is truly wonderful. Number 3, Three Identical Strangers. New York, 1980. Three complete strangers accidentally discover that they're identical triplets separated at birth. The 19-year-old's joyous reunion catapults them to international fame, but it also unlocks the extraordinary and disturbing secret that goes beyond their own lives and could transform our understanding of human nature forever. I'm going to deliberately leave this one vague because I feel that this documentary is utterly jaw-dropping. You won't believe the story. It starts off as this rousing, fun, engaging tale, and then goes places you would never expect. If you like docs, or even if you don't and you just want a good tale that is shocking, this is the one for you. Number 2, Code 8. In a world where people with special abilities are living in poverty, Connor Reed is a powerful young man who is struggling to pay for his ailing mother's medical treatment. To earn money, he joins a lucrative criminal world led by Garrett, who works for a drug lord. Code 8 is more like a realistic X-Men movie where these people who were once a part of society and used to help build things are no longer required and are sidelined. They are marginalised. They are the lowest rung of the human chain, and they are just struggling to make ends meet. And more often than not, they have to turn to, well, not the most honest of measures. And this is about a character who is learning his powers and what he can actually do with it, and how he can make some cash that he really needs to help his family. It's engaging, it's fun, it's got amazing special effects. It's one of those movies that just kind of ekes by with nobody talking about it. It's time to check out this fun-filled movie. Number 1, Extraction. In an underworld of weapons dealers and traffickers, a young boy becomes the pawn in a war between notorious drug lords. Trapped by kidnappers inside one of the world's most impenetrable cities, the rescue beckons the unparalleled skill of a mercenary named Tyler Rake. But Rake is a broken man, with nothing to lose, harbouring a death wish that makes an already deadly mission near impossible. Chris Hemsworth stars as Rake, and this is a movie that has a very typical plot. You can see what's coming a mile away. It doesn't offer much in the form of surprises, but I'm going to partner this movie up with John Wick. It was a movie that was very similar, had a very bland, banal plot, but just infused it with such gut-wrenching, fun-packed action spectacular that you couldn't tear away from it. This movie quickly sets into gear and never takes a moment to breathe. It has exciting action set piece after exciting action set piece. There are riotously funny moments. There is death by the bucketload, blood, bullets, fighting. It has it all. Chris Hemsworth is badass as all hell with this one, and I really enjoyed Extraction. It's a movie that I'm probably going to forget, but I remember having a wonderful time at it at the moment. There is one particularly standout scene for me where a group of kids, young gangsters, attack him and he has to just slap them silly rather than punching them. It's kind of funny, but the movie has so much going for it that I may go back and revisit it just to see that action spectacular once more. So there we have it, 10 great movies for you to check out this month. I hope you find something there that you really want to watch. And if I've missed something out, let me know in the comment box below with a recommendation, and I will happily check that out. I've got lots of time on my hands at the moment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.